How are you all doing tonight? My name is Bigbobbedboi and welcome. We got some hunter stuff to talk about. I want to cover some things that I think are really going to help you out if you know them going into SoD and general SoD hunter advice. The first thing, just have fun, dude. It's only level 25 cap. It's not that serious. If any of this doesn't sound fun to you, skip it and do what does sound the most fun. Anyway, hunter race choice. This has changed a little bit since Classic. Alliance only has Dwarf and Nelf. Nelf has higher base agility, that is basically nothing at 60, but it's a little bit more impactful at 25. Shadow Meld is super useful. There's a lot of uses in PvE, but it also opens up some solo capability that other hunters don't have. If you're trying to avoid mobs in a dungeon or something like that, you can jump into Shadow Meld, wait for FD to come off cooldown. While any hunter can reliably do farms like Mara or DM North, Nelf does have some advantages there. It could be useful in some of the new dungeons if there are possible solo farms. Wisp Spirit does not matter. We're not going to die. Hunter Jesus is at the wheel. Dwarf has Stone Form, which is incredibly nice in PvP and has some use in PvE. Dwarf also gets gun spec. May actually be really good. So at level 25 there is a very strong gun, but it's so fast it's probably only worth it as BM. You'd clip like crazy trying to aim shot, but since there's new loot for all these level brackets, I would not be surprised if we get some decent new guns, so this could be decently useful. And find treasure. Don't laugh. We have no way to know now, but this might actually be useful in finding runes. They mentioned some of them being findable out in the world. Would track treasure work on those? Maybe. For ally, both are good. Unless you're super into the Shadow Meld PvP playstyle, I would probably go Dwarf, but it's not going to make a huge difference either way. Horde is a bit different. You've got Orc, Troll, and Tauren. Tauren is a lot better in SoD than Classic. I still probably wouldn't go Tauren, but it is a lot better. If you're meleeing, you're probably going to take some cleave damage. That extra HP is a nice little bonus, but the main thing is War Stomp. This is actually useful for melee hunter. You have no way to interrupt, so you can use this as an interrupt in PvE if the mob is not stun immune. It also has a lot of uses in PvP. If you're going to main melee hunter, this is not the best choice, but I wouldn't put it as deeply in the main tier anymore. Orc is my favorite. If I'm playing Horde, I'm playing Orc. It was already really good in Classic, and it's even better in SoD. You have hardiness for the stun resist, pet damage for BM, X-Spec for melee, and Blood Fury for melee. I would say this is the best for all specs PvP and probably all specs PvE except for if you're focused on PvE, you're focused on range. You don't mind swapping gear before raid fights start to get the most out of berserking. Troll is probably going to be your best bet. Troll also has bow spec, which obviously we use a lot of bows. Beast damage is not worthless. Health regen, okay, that's mostly worthless, but throwing spec, maybe, just maybe, Hunter will get a dope throwing weapon focused rune later, eh? Yeah, probably not. But trolls also have really high base agility. Look at that. Damn. So that is nice. But this is a big one. Specs and runes while leveling. Now, obviously, any rune is better than no rune. Whatever you pick up in those very first few levels, go ahead and use it. We do know some of them will be available in the starting zone, so we will have something. Here are the runes that I would shoot for while leveling. For chest, Master Marksman. This is so good for leveling. It is so easy to burn out your mana and go boom while leveling. Having 5% crit, 25% reduced cost on our shots is insane. Even as BM, I probably wouldn't use Cobra Strikes out leveling by myself. Your crit is going to be pretty low. I doubt it's worth it, especially over Master Marksman. Lion is probably second best in almost all situations, melee being the exception. I wouldn't use Lone Wolf at all while leveling, honestly. Even if we can two-shot mobs and kill them before they get to us, likely be burning your mana incredibly fast to make that happen. Legs, honestly, there's no amazing option here. Sniper training is an amazing rune, but you move around a lot while leveling. Having to stand there for 6 seconds to get your crit is kind of awkward. I'd go with either Kill Command or Flanking Strike. Kill Command isn't phenomenal, but it's a DPS cooldown for your pet, and your pet should be doing big work while leveling. Now, even if you're going ranged, if you keep up with your melee weapons, Flanking Strike is going to be dope shit. You gotta move up to the mob to loot it anyway, so you may as well run up and Flanking Strike it to kill it. Only 3% base mana, so that's really mana efficient for the amount of damage it will do. Only thing you gotta worry about is weapon skill, and Glove Rune is really easy. Beast Mastery. This will make your pet a goddamn leveling machine. Health, damage, and a taunt. Remember how easy it was to rip threat off your pet? Not anymore. And this also has great synergy with Flanking Strike. If you don't have flanking strike or are just not interested in doing any kind of melee, I would actually go with explosive shot while leveling. Based on the numbers we have now, explosive shot will be a lot more mana efficient than Chimera, and the shared cooldown shouldn't really be an issue while leveling. We're not spamming all of our shots. Plus, we can't really take advantage of the weapon damage all that well at low levels. If you do that, I would also probably go with a different leg rune, maybe sniper training, not a lot of great options there. What about specs to level? Couple options. You could just go full marksman if you have the BM rune. Classic, full marksman sucked for leveling because you'd go and your pet could not hold threat. Master Marksman rune and BM rune will ameliorate that, maybe even fix it. Get efficiency, lethal shots, and aim shot. Then your points from there don't really matter. All the options are about the same. If you want to go deep BM, it will still be solid. All the runes make BM really good for leveling, but you don't gain any huge talents until level 20. Improved pet revive is fantastic, but our pets shouldn't be dying a lot, especially with the BM rune. Pathfinding and bestial swiftness are extremely nice when you don't have dash or a mount, but you're going to be level 22 by the time you get to those, so they're not going to be a lot of use. If you're just dungeon grinding, put them all into Unleashed Fury. For Melee Hunter, Monster Slaying, Humanoid Slaying, and Savage Strikes, those are the big ones. We shouldn't be seeing much damage because our pet is here, so parry chance, kind of worthless. And unless you're on a PvP server, improved wing clip and entrapment are not going to be worth it either. Clever Traps, though, is good. I would grab that for our in-combat traps, if we get those. Deterrence is also fine to take as an oh shit button since we won't have FD, but it's not a huge deal. Professions. Engineering is still good. If you want to go engineering, it's still a really good choice, I can't say otherwise. I am personally going to go leatherworking and skinning. We know there's at least one extremely good item from leatherworking that is BOP. I would expect more items like that at later level brackets, but can't say that with any certainty. It is kind of a gamble. My first ult will be mining and engineering, so I'll probably just drop skinning on the hunter at some point for engineering. However, it's possible that alchemy ends up being really good. We can just pop potions like crazy in Classic. Remember, they are a 2-minute cooldown, but that counts down whether you're in combat or not. And we don't know all the new items for any profession. I found almost nothing was data mined on that. So leatherworking and NG are a pretty safe bet. Alchemy, blacksmithing, and enchanting are kind of up in the air. They could be amazing or they could be a dumpster fire. Let's talk about some gear to watch out for. I've not written a full level 25 BIS list yet since we don't know all the gear we can get and be kind of worthless. But I've already done one that only accounts for the gear we do know about, and there's a few items that I recommend watching out for while leveling. Any level 24 or level 25 greens of agility. Those will compete with most of the items we can get at 25. Humbert's Helm. There are not a lot of helm options, and this one is very good. But the mobs are only killable by Horde. They drop from Dungarok Riflemen in Hillsbrad. They are around level 30 and elite, but they are a part of the Battle of Hillsbrad questline, so people will be killing them, and they do have other good drops, so people may farm them. If you're Alliance, well, we're just fucked, bud. You can try and check the neutral AH, but probably not gonna happen. Steel Arrow Crossbow. This drops from Dark Iron Rifleman. Wait, why does a rifleman drop a crossbow and not a rifle? Dark Iron Rifleman in Wetlands. They are around level 27 and elite, though I'm pretty sure you can solo them on Hunter, as long as you can single pull these mobs. This is the slowest weapon we can get by a lot. If you're using aim shots, it's worth trying this, but I kind of expect BFD to have a better ranged weapon. And then dungeon gear. You don't need to farm dungeons for gear. There's just not that much we really need. These are the most notable ones. Cape of the Brotherhood from DM is pretty good. In Wailing Caverns, Leggings of the Fang are pretty good, and they are very good if you're a melee hunter. Venom Strike from Wailing Caverns is okay, but you don't need to go out of your way to get that. It's a little fast, and it can be replaced pretty early. RFK has a ton of BOE blues that are around level 25. Mantle of Thieves is really, really good. RFK is probably doable since we'll have a lot of runes. Even if it isn't, people will still probably farm trash for the BOEs. Nomer also has some level 25 BOEs people will probably farm for. The two that interest us most are Gizmatron Mega Chopper. There's not that many great agility two-handed weapons for hunters at this level. I'd expect something better in BFD, so if you come across this, it could be worth it. They were always really cheap in Classic, but I wouldn't pay out the ass for it. And high-tech supergun. If you're not using aim shot, and especially for a dwarf, this is very good. It might even be better than whatever is in BFD. This is a Nomer BOE. It drops from a ton of different trash in there, so these will likely show up. Remember the Nomer quest for Trip Runner Dungarees? It's available at level 25, but there's a few issues here. One, he's level 34. Damn. I do think it's possible for him to be killed at level 25. Especially with our new runes, it's totally cheesable. But they teased a Nomer raid at BlizzCon, the Gnome or dungeon might not even exist. Although I would say the most important thing for gear is looking like it's going to be Ashenvale PvP. If it's up, I would do the Ashenvale PvP. We know for a fact there's a level 25 bow from the Warsong Gold Trip, and the Ashenvale PvP gives Warsong Gold Trip. Now that vendor also sells a ring, necklace, cape, and trinket. Trinket is not that interesting, it's like HP, and there's only a caster cape for some reason. What we don't know is if all of these items will be scaled to level 25 like the bow is. Those have not been data mined. But if they are, most of those will be BIS. The necklace is probably already BIS, even though it's the level 18 version. It's very good. Alright, let's talk about some pets. You know I love hunter pets. I did a ton of videos on pets back in Classic, including rare and unique pets, Furious Howl, attack speed. Actually, the attack speed video, probably my favorite one. You should watch that. And almost all of that information is still going to be relevant in SoD. So if you have any questions about pets, it is probably in one of those videos. Some pets I would recommend grabbing while leveling to 25. Any unique pet that you particularly like. Yeah. So if there's a particular pet that you like, try to grab it now. If you like Humar, go camp it. If you are a super Chad and want my ass ranch, get him now. Because it really, really sucks trying to level pets up if you are out leveling them. Now my personal recommendations for pets are Boar. Boar is probably the best pet for leveling. You can't get dash until level 30, and you can't even get the run speed talent until level 20. This makes boars with charge extremely good. They will have the best combat uptime of any pet, and they have the best diet. They will eat literally anything. I swear I fed a boar a copper and old pants sandwich. Wind Serpent. Wind Serpents are really good pets in general. I went over them in those old pet videos. One thing that makes them especially good at 25 is you get a new rank of Lightning Breath at level 24. Well, 25 because it's learnable at 24, but level 25 is the lowest level beast that knows it. That's Washed Upon in the Barrens or Cloud Servants and 1k Needles. And there's one new consideration with pet attack speed, and that's Flanking Strike. Since you and your pet attack instantly for 100% weapon damage, slower should be better, right? Maybe. We don't know if this is normalized. So, like most abilities that hit for a percentage of weapon damage are normalized. What that means is a 3.0 speed weapon will hit the same as a 5.0 speed weapon, all other things being equal. If that is true for Flanking Strike, then your pet attack speed doesn't matter. If it does, then it may be worth going for a pet with a slower attack speed. A ton of pets are 2.0 speed, but there's two absolutely swole bears out there that hit slow and hard. They are in Elwyn Forest. Black Bear and a Young Forest Bear in Elwyn Forest. That's kind of weird. I'm guessing it's some relic of Elwyn being one of the first zones made in WoW. They have a 2.5 attack speed, which is insane. If flanking is not normalized, I would grab one of these as ally. For Horde, I'd just wait until further testing. And if you see any new pets, which there will be some, tame it and tell me about it. I think that's some of the most important things to know, some of the best advice I can give for all my wonderful hunters going into SoD. If you enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button, like button, Wind Serpent's kick ass button, all that other shit. I appreciate each and every one I get, and we even have a membership option. Click that join button and check it out if you want to support the channel, because my members are indeed absolute chads blessed by Hunter Jesus himself. And I'll be streaming an absolute ass load of SoD here on YouTube starting launch day, which is really soon. Come back for that, because it will be a few days after launch before I make any more videos. Let me know what videos you are most interested in seeing about SoD after launch. I'm thinking Hunter BIS, Hunter Essential Guide, maybe revisiting the PvP meta after we've had time to dive into it more. But that is going to be all for this one. I really appreciate you all watching, and I will see you all for the next one.